In this screencast, I will demonstrate how to create technical documentation about a system previously specified using plant UML diagrams in FASTEN. In a previous screencast, we demonstrated how to create various plant UML diagrams describing a pacemaker system in FASTEN. We created a use case diagram, several component diagrams, and sequence diagrams. Our aim in this screencast is to create technical documentation about the pacemaker system and export it to HTML. At first, let us create a new model containing a technical documentation for the system. We want to keep the content modular and properly structured, and thereby the documentation is situated in a neighboring model. We add a new root with the type Technical Documentation via the new Fasten Root node pop-up menu triggered on a model. We name this root node Pacemaker Overview. Let us suppose that the technical document is larger and we want to split it into several root nodes with type Technical Documentation. The first root will contain an introduction section and a general description of the system. Subsequently, we will import two other technical documents, one containing the use cases, the other containing the architecture and design. Let us create these two other documents. We create another root node with type Technical Documentation and call it Pacemaker Use Cases. We create a section which contains explanatory text and images corresponding to the use cases. For adding the image, we use the construct embed model as image. We try to reference the pacemaker use case root node by pressing Ctrl+space, but it does not show up in the auto-completion menu. The default scoping in FASTEN is at model level. By default, within a model, we can reference other nodes contained in the same model. In our case, the pacemaker diagrams are situated in another model. In order to be able to embed the pacemaker diagrams within the documentation, we need to add a dependency from the current model containing the technical documentation to the model containing the pacemaker description. Now, we can embed the use case diagram as image inside the current document. We create another root node containing the architecture. Let us name it Pacemaker Architecture. We create two sections, one for the static view, the second one for the interaction view. In the static view, we embed the component diagrams as images. We can embed both the entire root nodes, as well as we can select certain named elements within these root nodes. In a subsequent section about the interaction view, we embed the sequence diagrams. Rather than being pictures, the embedded images are the models containing the content. We can choose to display only the diagrams. Once we have created the two technical documents for the use case and architecture, we need to include them in the main document, the Pacemaker Overview. For doing this, we need to specify explicitly that the overview document depends on the other two documents. Then, we can include the other documents. For exporting the documentation, we need two root nodes, a document configuration root node and an export configuration. The configuration specifies two directories, one containing images and another one containing temporary files. Both these directories must exist on the hard disk. In our example, we choose them to be inside the directory where the solution containing the documentation resides. The export configuration root node is created as well via the new FASTEN root node menu. It has a title, references the root technical documentation node, which will be exported, contains a renderer. We use HTML renderer and a mapping of paths. The document config should be referenced from each created technical document. Let us add these references. We export the technical documentation to HTML by rebuilding the model. If we navigate to the folder where the documentation is generated, we can open the HTML page. Unfortunately, no HTML page was generated. We forgot something in the configuration. Let us fix and add HTML to the config item. We rebuild the model, and now the HTML pages are in the folder as expected. We included the entire documents in the overview page. Let us only reference them. Now we have hyperlinks to each HTML containing the documentation. From each picture, there is a link which allows navigation to the corresponding node in FASTEN, provided that a FASTEN instance is open with the project containing the system description. To sum up, in this screencast we have demonstrated how to create technical documentation using a domain-specific language in FASTEN and how to integrate previously created models. Every time the system models are changed, the changes are reflected in the documentation. The generation of the documentation can be also triggered from a CI pipeline. Thank you for watching. See you at the next episode.